commercially, and how they are being campaigned as if it's the best new thing since sliced bread. The 5G network is said to be more than 100 times faster than the 4th gen network, in which 4G is just limited to using frequencies directed from a single cell tower towards, let's say, your smartphone that's within a 10 to 20 mile radius of that cell tower, and then transmute that same frequency back to that single cell tower. So the further you move away from that initial cell tower, your signal weakens until you are in the range of another cell tower in a different location. 5G eliminates that process by nearly quadrupling the amount of cell towers. That also works alongside much smaller cell towers additionally, allowing the frequencies to work more proficient and uninterrupted. However, having all of these frequencies working all at once comes with a hefty price tag, and I am not referring to how much your internet service provider would charge you, nor how much the installation would cost them. With more frequency waves being emitted, whether higher or lower, comes even more radiation, much more radiation, to a point where scientists, doctors, activists, physicians, and even professors in the medical field have publicly stated their concerns with this 5G network and its immediate health hazards towards any living being. For example, a public health professor at the University of California named Dr. Joel Moskowitz stated, quote, "The deployment of 5G or 5th generation cellular technology constitutes a massive experiment on the health of all species because millimeter waves are weaker than microwaves. They are predominantly absorbed by the skin, meaning their distribution is quite focused there. Since skin contains capillaries and nerve endings, millimeter waves bioeffects may be transmitted through molecular mechanisms by the skin or through the nervous system." End quote. Then he also said that the millimeter waves that 5G will emit will directly affect the eyes, testes, skin, sweat glands, and the nervous system. Now, what's very important to note here is that the 5G millimeter waves are limited to even shorter lengths than of the 4G network. But to compensate for that, the 5G infrastructure is calling for 10 times the amount of mini cell towers that will be placed even closer to office buildings, schools, hospitals, and especially our homes, making the rate of being exposed to RF radiation even higher. Kevin Modis, who is the president of the U.S. Brain Tumor Association, said that, quote, "Within the radio frequency portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, the higher the frequency, the more dangerous the radiation is." End quote. Studies have shown that being exposed to these types of radio waves or radio frequencies, whether high or low, can cause brain damage, cancer, and even affect an infant's DNA structure tremendously. Now, the good news is there is a fight to stop this systematic installation of the 5G network, and the FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission, is fully aware of the public's concerns. But so far, it just delayed the process of installation. And I am doing my part by making you aware of what's going on. Spread the word, people. So now, which definition of the word smart correlates with their intentions? Wait, before you answer that, let's go over another alarming concern in regards to these smart devices. Most of you are aware that when you are utilizing, let's say, your smartphone, for example, that your direct location is being recorded, even if you have your locator off on your device. You can actually check this for yourself by just simply having your locator off and type in google.com in your web browser, for example, and scroll all the way down to the bottom of that initial page, and you'll see what I mean. The reason why this is happening is due to your MAC address or your IP address that is automatically assigned to your specific internet service. This is also how those ads that you may see anywhere you surf the web is being catered to you based on your location and your browsing activity. Yeah, that gets recorded too. Oh, and let's not forget about how you just had a conversation with your friend about possibly buying some new item you wanted or needed. And then not long after that, you'll see an ad for that particular item pop up all of a sudden while you're surfing the web. That's because your conversations are also being softly recorded by your smartphone or any other smart device that has a built-in microphone for that matter. Now, you're probably asking, is this even legal? Yes and no, but more so yes, due to you nonchalantly agreeing and accepting the terms of service and privacy policies of free websites like Facebook and Google and free applications like Instagram and Twitter, and even those viral face manipulation apps that people download on their smart devices. If you didn't know this, be sure to make it a habit to read the privacy policies and even the permissions that you literally give them inadvertently. Now, with all of that being said, the alternative to combat these smart device privacy issues is a service called VPN, which is an acronym for Virtual Private Network. Having a VPN can allow its users to surf the internet privately, safely, and more secure. In more broader terms, having a VPN allows the user to hide their IP addresses from unwanted people, like, say for example, advertisers, scammers, hackers, and even the government if applicable. Hiding your IP address is not illegal, just in case you were wondering. In fact, your IP address is automatically assigned to you by your internet service provider, like Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, or Spectrum, just to name a few. Your IP address tends to showcase your direct location, whether if you're at home, at work, or on the road, depending on which devices you are using at that time. And in most cases, the majority of people have no idea that their every move is being tracked, not only by their internet service provider, but anyone else that decides to take a peek at your activity for whatever reason. The best thing about having a VPN service is that you can stay anonymous for as long as you own the service, because a VPN service will literally hide your native IP address that was automatically assigned to you from being revealed to anyone anywhere on the internet by assigning you a totally different IP address that will resemble as if you are located in, say, another part of the world, for example. You do not have to have something to hide in order to have a reason to have a VPN. And you do not need to buy more equipment or switch to another internet service provider to own a VPN. There are plenty of VPN providers out there that you can choose from. Simply search for VPN providers on the internet. Take a look at what they offer, make price comparisons, and be sure to look at their reviews, then make the best choice for you. So in conclusion, no stranger should be allowed to do what they want to do with your privacy. And the way today's society is now, privacy is becoming even more obsolete due to those who are not cognizant of what to do in order to protect themselves from being monitored, tracked, blocked, and even identified. But now that you know all of this, what are you going to do about it? I'm just here to make you think.